Hi, I'm Plynn Gutman, and today I want to share with you a recipe from my book that's just come out, and it's called The Work of Her Hands, A Prairie Woman's Life in Remembrances and Recipes. And it is a book about my maternal grandmother, who is French-Canadian, and I look at her life through the lens of her recipes. And so the one I want to share with you today is one of the iconic recipes of the book, and it's called Sucre à Creme, which is sugar and cream. But in the end, it's a lot more than those two ingredients. So anyway, we'll get started, and I'll show you what we do. First of all, we want to put the element on high, and we're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of whipping cream. We're going to stir that together and bring it to a boil. Make sure it's really nice and mixed well. You can see the brown sugar in there, in with the cream. We're going to get that all put together in a beautiful way. By the way, the pot that I'm cooking in is the only one I have of this kind, and it's called Wherever. And this was the pot of choice for very many women in the mid 20th century. And this was my mother's, but my grandmother also had a set of Wherever pots and used them to do all of her cooking. So, see how that's nice and brown? We've stirred it all together, and now we're just going to watch and wait for it to come to a boil. Okay, here we go. We've got our mixture of brown sugar and whipping cream at a boil. Now we're going to add one teaspoon, nice and vanilla-y, of that vanilla. And I'm going to just turn that down a little bit, but I'm going to keep stirring. And we're going to cook this for about 1 minute, so I'm going to put my timer on. And so while we're doing that, I'll just tell you a little bit more about my grandmother. She was married in 1923 to my grandfather, and they farmed and raised 5 children during the worst years in North American history in the U.S. and Canada, during the Depression, during the Dirty 30s, when there was barely anything that survived in those prairies and in the Midwest. And my grandparents lived in Saskatchewan, Canada. And they had to be very resourceful then. And one of the things that I think shows through in my book is that our elders knew what sustainability was. They knew how to live close to the land. They knew all of those kinds of things. And my grandmother was a cottage industry all on her own in order to survive, selling butter and eggs at the general store, raising turkeys for the rest of the community to have for Christmas, all those kinds of things. It's a fascinating time of life then, and it's something that we can certainly recall and remember and learn from. All right, so now we have this lovely sauce, Sucre Creme, and I'll show you how we eat it. First of all, I've got a little, you can use it like a little dip, for fruit of any kind. And so that's one way to use it. Another, I've just got some pound cake here with some bananas, and you just spoon it over there. Oh, yum. Lovely. Now, you can use it with any kind of cake, a white cake or a spice cake. Any of these would be lovely with it. But here's how my grandmother served it in her kitchen. And that was to put a little on the plate, like so, and then with a nice piece of fresh homemade bread, which she baked every week, sometimes twice a week, for the entire time that they lived on the farm. And just put it in there, dunk it, and that is so yummy. Simple and wonderful. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope you will try this lovely simple recipe, Sucre Creme.